Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to the Tin Dog Podcast. This Tin Dog Podcast is dedicated to Christopher Hales, who's donated to help keep the Tin Dog Podcast running. Thanks very much, Christopher. It really means a lot to me. This time, and for the next 3 shows, I'll be talking about what some people have called the bottom of the barrel boxed set.
Doctor Who, Myths and Legends. Disc 1, The Time Monster.
It's a little bit unfair, but you can see their point in some cases. 3 separate stories, 1 Pertwee, 2 Tom Baker, all coming out at the end of this month or the beginning of next on Region 2. The stories in question are The Time Monster, the subject of today's show, Underworld, a Tom Baker story and the subject of the next TDP, and finally Horns of the Naimon, one of my personal favourites. But before I start talking about The Time Monster, I just want to inform everyone that the donate button is now back up and running on the front page of the TDP website. That's www.tin-dog.co.uk if you feel the urge to donate to help the TDP running. And if you'd like something in exchange for helping the Tin Dog Podcast, then you can always buy a Whostrology. Yes, they're back, and they're back on sale on eBay. Simply go to eBay, type in Whostrology and follow the instructions. They're £3.99, and you get your own personalised date of birth Whostrology reading, which will then be read out at some point as part of this show. But enough advertising, on with the reviews.
Only one thing stands between me and complete power over the Earth, over the universe itself, and the one I bring here will show me how to harness that power. Now, you watch that crystal!
Mighty Lord, exalted one! I hear and obey! What on earth is going on?
Who is this?
My assistant. But Stuart's only 25.
25?
Yates, can you hear me? Yates, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Over!
This story is, to some people's view, a standard 6-parter, i.e. it has 4 episodes set in one location and 2 episodes set in another. The 6-parter stories sometimes feel long and drawn out, but on the rewatch of this it didn't feel half as bad as it used to. The VHS release, which was the only thing I had to refer to, was a transfer direct from the NTSC copy provided by a Canadian broadcasting company after the BBC had, yes you've guessed it, wiped the original. This print is much better. It's been fiddled about with in that lovely way that To Entertain seemed to do so well. They've found a lovely black and white print of episode 6, being able to match the colour back on top of episode 6, which means that one's almost perfectly broadcast and recreated. While the others still aren't perfect, they are considerably better than anything I've seen before. The story itself, now this is where it falls apart. You see, John Pertwee was never a big fan of this story, perhaps because it dealt primarily with time travel itself. Yes, we know the perceived wisdom that all Doctor Who stories that have time travel in them are at least a little bit ropey. But it's not bad. It's a master story, which is always good, and that's hardly going to come as a surprise to anyone on the grounds that he's on the box. The story, or at least the first part of it, consists of one of the Master's overly complicated plans. No real surprise there. He's using Earth technology to basically create a matter transporter from something from point A to point B, something he's christened Tom Tit. Yes, I know it sounds really ludicrous, and guess what? It is. Apparently it transfers matter through the gaps in space-time, or something along those lines. It's not really important as to why it works, just to prove that it does work is more than enough. Yes, the Master does his normal stuff. He hypnotizes important people. He messes with authority figures. There's crazy science. There's glowing crystals. And there is, of course, the thing this story is most famous for. The giant foam budgie of destiny. Doctor Who monsters can be rubbish. Looking back on it at the age of 30-something, all you can see is a man in a big foam suit. But if you watch this through a child's eyes, you see something indistinct, something scary. A similar result can be found by watching Sapphire and Steel, where as a child you were terrified by the nondescript creatures that lived in the walls. Only on rewatch do you discover you were frightened of a floating pillow, or some stock footage of a swan. It's amazing what the imagination can do, if given the right triggers. This is the ancient god Kronos, the Chronivore, and of course it has links with Greek mythology, hence the whole Atlantean myth. That we'll come back to in a moment, because the second half of this story concerns this ancient crystal, an ancient religious leader, a king who knows better than he should, and of course the lost city of Atlantis itself, all of which who have something interconnected to do with this ancient powerful crystal. And of course, the moment somebody mentions a powerful crystal, you know the Master's after it. Yes, you can fill in the storyline itself. Suffice to say that it's got Ingrid Pitt at some point, and David Prowse rather majestically plays a Minotaur. Yes, let's not go there. Darth Vader wearing a mask. No surprise there then. Moving on. There's not a lot of extras on this disc. Primarily the best one is also the worst one. It's the commentary. You see, reading the box and the description, you think that there's more than one commentary track. There's perhaps 3. There's one by Sergeant Benton, one by a collection of new series writers, and one by Barry Letts and a few others, all held together by Toby Hadoke. But no, what you've got is one extra commentary track, a little bit disappointing. The first one and the last one is Barry Letts. I'm sure there's another Barry Letts in there somewhere. Then we've got John Levine by himself, which is always kind of odd, but doing a marvellous performance. And that's kind of what it is, saying how great everyone was and telling a rather sad story about the child who played him when he was affected by the time spillage. It would have been lovely for him to appear with at least one other person, just to help and guide. Otherwise he does start to sound a little bit like a lovey. Not that that's a bad thing, but it is very, very interesting, and I would like to have heard him answer some questions rather than just go through some notes. That's more of a production thing than any go at the actor himself. The other extras are fairly thin on the ground. There's a sort of making of which really deals with the science of the Time Monster. And as you can imagine, any documentary talking about the science of Doctor Who is going to be stretching credulity just a touch. It's actually very well made, and I wouldn't question it too much. Beyond that, you've got the standard PDFs and photo gallery, and a lovely restoration comparison, again talking about the NTSC stuff. Getting back to the story, I just want to read you something from the Discontinuity Guide. This is from page 140, and it's the bottom line. This is where they sum up what they think of the story. Time isn't smooth. It's made up of little bits. It's like watching paint dry while being whipped with barbed wire. Immensely dull and painful at the same time. It's as if the unit family were having such fun the day that they'd forgotten that we'd like to have some fun too. Episode 4 is intended to make the audience go, "Ooh, that's clever," but actually makes them fondly remember the Space Museum. Yeah, I do think that's a little bit harsh, but not as harsh as what Doctor Who, the complete and utterly unauthorised guide, this is the Pocket Essential, says about the same story. Verdict: an unfunny Doctor Who spoof. Every scene fails, every line of dialogue irritates, every performance jars, even Delgado is dire. The helping hand of Barry Letts is all too obvious in the scripts, which is the same cringe-making quality as his 1996 radio serial, The Ghosts of N-Space. You see, I don't think it's that bad. It's not the best Pertwee by far, but it doesn't deserve to be panned by so many people. So perhaps this could be seen as the bottom of the barrel box set, but I for one will be watching it again, especially for that commentary done by new series writers on one of the episodes, where everyone else seems to think it's better than they remember. If you want to see doodlebugs over Oxfordshire and knights running at trucks, yes, you heard right, get this story and give it another go. So before I go, here's a quick Whostrology. And now a Whostrology for Adam Parker. Born on the 22nd of April 1978. You were born in the time of the Fourth Doctor, with Ramana Varatralunda in the Ascendant. Stories shown on your birthday. Born between seasons 15 and 16, the invasion of time and the Reboss operation, and on the anniversary of the broadcast of the Faceless Ones Part 1, the Mutants Part 3, and Tooth and Claw. Your Whostrology. It is time for a new direction. A quest to bring things together is at hand. Why not take your new and upgraded friend with you? The sinister side of postcards is plain for all to see, even if you have something in your eyes. Opening a package will raise questions. Why not consider and explore solutions to the problem? Be careful whom you annoy. Some things in life will cause echoes all the way to Canary Wharf in Wales. Are diamonds really a girl's best friend, or is that Hollywood? And with that, I'll bid you farewell, and speak to you all very soon about Underworld. Remember, we're only weeks away from the 11th Doctor, so until next time, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.